When the Spurs won the draft lottery, they won a basketball jackpot unlike any other. Victor Wembanyama is only 19 years old and appears to be everything as advertised, and possibly more.
Have you gotten a chance to see Victor Wembanyama yet?
Yeah, of course. How can you miss him?
What have you thought from what you have seen?
That type of talent and skill, and it just puts a smile on your face if you play basketball, because the evolution of the game is taking us this far. You know what I'm saying? When we got 7'5" dudes who's able to do everything on the court.
It's not often a player who hasn't even played 15 games in the NBA has the sport's established stars unanimously gushing. Wembanyama is doing things on the regular that we as observers are just not accustomed to seeing. A 7'5" player doing nutmegs? Euro-stepping from the three-point line and into a dunk? Blocking jumpers by every Golden State Warrior? It's all absurd. Let's analyze what's happening in front of our eyes and find out, has Victor Wembanyama broken the NBA? So most good NBA players fit into, broadly speaking, one or two camps. There are shorter guards who are generally good at dribbling, really good at shooting, but not as good near the basket, and not as good on defense. Or there are the big guys who are dominant near the basket, but they can't shoot as well. They can't dribble, they're not as fast. Wembanyama combines the best of both worlds. Mostly every other player has weaknesses or trade-offs they have to make because of their skills and size. Wembanyama has everything. Here's a clip of Ben Taylor of Thinking Basketball, which highlights how Victor can do the impossible on the floor.
Take this play, where Wemby's guarding a wing, and Steph Curry runs a basic spread pick and roll, so Victor stays in the paint to help out on the roll man, has both feet in the lane on the pass, and then somehow blocks the three. As a reminder, this is what a normal-sized human looks like on the exact same play, helping on the roll, then recovering to contest the shot.
He's also been described as the greatest NBA draft prospect since LeBron James. So to put things into perspective, let's compare Wembanyama's first 10 game stats to LeBron's first 10 games. Wembanyama has put up 19.7 points, 8.8 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and 2.4 blocks in his first 10 NBA games. LeBron, on the other hand, averaged 16.8 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 6.4 assists in his first 10 games. Thus, Wembanyama is doing better than James so far. He's also scored 38 points in just his fifth game on 15 of 26 shooting with 10 rebounds and 2 blocks. He joined Kevin Durant and LeBron James as the only teenagers in NBA history with 35 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 blocks in a game. Wembanyama's 38 points were tied for the third most by a Spurs rookie. The only other San Antonio rookie to reach that number was David Robinson, but not until the All-Star break of his rookie season, which happens way later into the season. He's also the first player since Shaquille O'Neal in 1992 to have 100 points and 10 blocks in his first 5 career games. He and Anthony Davis are the only players in the NBA this season with 100 points, 10 blocks, and 7 steals. What's common among all these names we just compared Wembanyama to? They're all NBA legends and guaranteed Hall of Famers, and he's matching them in not just his rookie season, but his first 10 games. He's playing against the greatest players and showing that he can hold his own against them.
Is off. Wembanyama goes right by Durant. Oh! Wemby with the left hand!
What's even more impressive than his stat lines is the fact that his transition to the NBA has been seamless. He's not even remotely timid, doesn't have rookie doubts, and has accurately identified that he has every reason to hold the platform that he does. Not a lot of rookies enter the league with a mindset that's determined, especially players as long and young as Wembanyama, who, outside of having to adjust to a different culture, also has to adjust to his own size and place in the NBA. Let's discuss how he affects both ends on the floor. Let's start with his defense. Wembanyama is already forcing teams to attack areas of the floor where he isn't placed. That doesn't really matter, however, as he'll cover more ground in a single stride as most point guards would in 3. He is an absolute force on the defensive end, and that's including his inevitable mental lapses and inexperience dealing with NBA offenses. He'll get broken down off the dribble, find himself in an inopportune position, and still have enough to recover to challenge a shot in earnest. Rebounding has been an issue, but some of that is due to the fact that he's guarding the perimeter a fair bit, not to mention his own high three-point rate, which limits his chances at offensive rebounds. Before we move on to the exciting part, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Alright, let's talk about his offense. Wembanyama is making the Spurs offense unpredictable. Perimeter isolation with duo crossovers leading to step-back triples? Sure. High-octane transitions ending up with lobs thrown too high, which he'll still somehow catch? Absolutely. Here's Malika Andrews of the ESPN talking about something that is just impossible to describe.
He takes a three, misses it, somehow gets his own rebound and throws it down. You spoke to NBA executives about this specific play. What more can you tell us about their impressions here?
Just the fact that he's creating his own shot here, 7'5" at the end of a clock, that's mesmerizing. But then the processing speed, the reaction time, the coordination, the mobility, the length.
One theme during these first 10 games has been how all 5 defensive eyes of the opposing team seem to shift towards Wembanyama when he makes a cut towards the basket with or without the ball. His size and coordination forces them to do so, affording his own team the time to make the right rotations, and Wembanyama can pass the basketball. He's got a knack for knowing where his teammates are, and his size allows him a great overview of the court, making reads easier, even in a crowd. Enough about the generational talent of Wembanyama. Let's talk about how he's in the perfect place to develop his basketball skills and thrive in the NBA. He was drafted by the San Antonio Spurs, an organization that is the perfect match for him. Over the years, the Spurs have demonstrated their expertise in nurturing promising young players who go on to become basketball stars. World-famous NBA players such as David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and Kawhi Leonard have all marked the club's history. The Spurs also made their own good fortune by being in the vanguard of several NBA trends. They established an international scouting infrastructure earlier than most teams, and then they drafted Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili. They sought creative ways and complementary players to extend the careers of their aging Big Three. They embraced the corner three before even Daryl Morey. If drafting Wembanyama was the big bang of the Spurs dynasty, the franchise is going to do a remarkable job cultivating the conditions for him to thrive. In San Antonio, he'll join a young group that is already in place and boasts 2 solid scorers in Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson, which should make his adaptation to the league easier, as he won't have to be relied on as a first option right off the bat. The Spurs are used to winning, and Victor Wembanyama puts them back on course to do a lot of it in the future. But the one-of-one number 1 pick also brings a sense of wonder and possibility unlike anything San Antonio fans have seen before. This season, the Spurs are set to play 19 games on ESPN, ABC, TNT, or NBA TV, including 4 of their first 8. They were on national TV just once last season when they hosted the Golden State Warriors. There's also the possibility that more national TV appearances will get added as the season goes on, and Wembanyama posts the kind of tantalizing highlights that have thrilled fans so far this season. The Spurs have 4,000 new season ticket deposits headed into the 2023-24 season. The team now has their highest number of season ticket accounts, including partial packages, in team history. In the first 48 hours following the selection of Wembanyama, the Spurs saw a 3,000% increase from the previous year in online traffic and sales. When San Antonio hosted Media Day on October 2nd, there were 100 RSVPs from various media outlets. The Spurs drew 17,214 fans for the team's home preseason opener, after averaging 16,937 per game during the regular season in 2022-23. It was the highest revenue-generating preseason game ever for a Spurs franchise that plays its home games beneath 5 NBA championship banners. Courtside seats for the team's opener were listed on the secondary market for $6,000. The promise of Wembanyama isn't a continuation of NBA greatness, but rather a creation of something new. The parallels to the other stars are irresistible, but if all goes according to plan, fans are going to be treated with never-before-seen highlights. It's Wembanyama's time now. Do you think he'll be better than LeBron? It's hard to tell, but you know what's easy to tell? How great LeBron is. Here are the times when LeBron proved how he's better than everyone.